see what's happening, see how YouTube works compared to other platforms. Because I'll be live streaming on other platforms as well. So one of it is, where I'm told that I'm supposed to just start regardless if there's anybody here or not. So let's just see. So, I'm like trained on the other app to speak a lot. So this is kind of weird that I don't have to like speak much. The Bronx is always like this at night. Always hearing sirens. That's New York in general. Fire truck somewhere. So the fire trucks, sometimes they go for not fires, but sometimes medical emergencies. So we're on East Gun Hill Road in the Bronx. And as you can see, there's a lot of people out. It's hot, summertime, so you get a lot more people outside. You have a lot of... So I'm just like decided to come out and do a short live, because usually I'm doing live streams on the other app. And today I was like around, where was I? I was in Lower Manhattan. I walked as far as Chelsea. I started at World Trade Center, and I ended up on like 23rd Street, West 23rd Street. So I'm also just checking the app at night. So if you're outside New York City, you will notice we have buses running. So it's like nearly, it's like about 9:30, I think it is. Let me just check 9:36 p.m. And I'm just like walking around. Let me go to like, let's see, go to Bainbridge. So I'm gonna walk up East Gun Hill Road, and I'm going to, this is like this fine fish store, stays open like 24 hours. I haven't come in the middle of the night in a long time. I think the last time I came was like, pandemic time. So you hear all the sirens. This is not crime, this is usually ambulances. And the one that drove past us earlier was the fire department. So why you hear ambulances over here is because there's a hospital close by. Hey King, what's up, man? What's up, Bugs Bunny boy? Okay, like I said, this is an ambulance that's coming past now. So we have a lot of this. This is a hospital over here. Contrary to popular belief, people think the Bronx is still like the 1970s, 80s and 90s, where crime was high. Crime is relatively low in New York City. And you can check the stats. You can compare the stats with those times. I know the quality of my phone isn't that good, because stabilization isn't that good on YouTube. I wish it was. I'm actually saving up for one of those GoPros But I need to assess that. It's one of the many bodegas in New York City. I'm just gonna, I think, just walk into, oh, there's a 24-hour laundromat as well. The barbers stay open till late. And the reason why a lot of these stores and businesses stay open late is because people work later. And something that I've learned in New York City, a lot of the stores that stays open later will they won't open that early as well. They'll start a bit earlier because so that they can work later. So many people that work later, most people that can work later, then can come and do the normal things like go to stores, go get their haircut, all of that. That's one of the interesting things about New York. So when they say the city that never sleeps, I believe that comes from the Frank Sinatra song New York. And he says this the city that never sleeps. And I must say the city does go to sleep, but there's always something happening in some parts of the city. Like even where Times Square is really busy, but the majority of the Times Square area is tourists that's visiting there. It's tourist hotspot basically. So we're coming up to the Montefiore Hospital. Like I said earlier on, ambulances rushing past and they rush into Montefiore Hospital. You can't really see it that clearly. So let's take a walk down. This is Bainbridge. I would have gone into Jerome, but Jerome is more of a avenue you go in during the day because lighting is like really bad. The lighting is not good over there because I see a car's lights kind of flashing, so you can just look at the buildings over there on that side. I can like move past over here and get into Bainbridge Avenue. So for those joining, this is the Bronx. Welcome to the live. We're in the north part of the Bronx right now. So this is the Montefiore Children's Hospital. Is the adults over here, as well as behind the children's section as well. Where's everybody watching me from? That's only if you want to kind of say where you're from. It's always interesting to know where people's watching me from. Like on my other app, I can actually check the analytics and see more or less which country people are watching me from. My other app, I got people from all over. Yes. Like today, I had something from Indonesia. And it was like about 4 p.m. my time, and that person, it was like 3 p.m. Friday already. Am I in Canada? No, this is the Bronx. Unfortunately, the lighting doesn't show you that. As we walk further on, you'll see I'm in New York City. You'll see. But this is like a hospital area. Once upon a time, this area was residential area, but these houses that you see over here, we're gonna walk past more of them. Were bought at the hospital by Montefiore, and Montefiore turned these houses into um, office spaces for the specialists. And those houses used to be split up into two homes, one side for one family, one side for the other. Some of it was just for a single family, and it's big with big property at the back. So here's some of these. It's offices now for specialists, but before it used to be homes for kind of wealthy people. So New York City had wealthy people, believe it or not. New York City had. The Bronx was actually built for middle class and working class people, and they started that off in like the. They started that off in the early 1900s. So when they first built the Bronx, like Manhattan was being overpopulated. So it was like places like the Brooklyn, around the waterfront area, Manhattan, lower Manhattan especially, and the upper Manhattan started expanding also more and more. But the Bronx offered more space. And the Bronx started off as a farmlands. But prior to that, there were people living here before that, and that was the Lenape people, a Native American tribe that lived out here. Another interesting part of history, that's the second oldest building in the Bronx that we're coming up to on Bainbridge Avenue. Unfortunately, the lighting is really bad. Let's see. So here's the second oldest house in the Bronx, and it has a statue. I hope you can see that statue. I'm sure you can make out that's a statue over there. That's a statue of a Civil War era soldier. So it's for the Bronx River soldier. They wrote a poem and all of that. We don't have time to read the poem, but it's right outside. It's over here. The Bronx, the radicals, runaways, and revolutionaries. So the Bronx had revolutionaries over here. Some of the revolutionary wars was in and around here. So this is the Museum of Bronx History over here. I have to yet come and pay a visit. We always, when the Bronx moved, this is the history of dance from 1970 to 1980, and it breaks down salsa, hustle, rock, go off, boogie, disco, and break dancing. So I always, hey Tyler, how are you? Thanks for joining me. So whenever you hear me speak about the Bronx, I speak with it in pride, because the Bronx was a founder of many things. So although salsa music didn't start here, but the Bronx was the place where it really kind of marketed and pushed out salsa music more than any place else. And the reason for that was many of the salsa stars were moving from East Harlem, Spanish Harlem, and they were moving into the Bronx. And they were also telling the other jazz artists, yo, come over here. And there was artists that also moved out here. So we had a lot of people that were always doing something creative. And this is obviously the birthplace of hip hop as well. Jaywalking, you know I never stop jaywalking, Tyler. We'll be speaking about my business on YouTube as well, so I had to come out and do this live stream at night. The camera, how does it work? Well, how does it look on your screen? compared to the other app. Because I know the lighting is not the best. And I should have like tried to set up. Apparently I can set up lighting. But that's something that I'm going to have to just like mess around with it. And the stability isn't as good as, you know. Clean my lens, thank you for letting me know. Is that better? Yeah, it looks better. Thanks for always letting me know, Tyler. Okay, so let's go down. This is 204. 204th Street. Oh, that is much better. Thanks for letting me know, Tyler. Looks so much better. I just want to get like 25 minutes of this in so that I have a presence on here as well. And then I have to do this every day at least. Because I don't want to sit with my face showing on the screen all the time. It looks really better. Somebody asked me if this was Canada, and I was like, nope. I think the person was from outside. That's US. And a lot of people don't expect the Bronx to be this quiet as well. I need to get indoors. Tomorrow morning, Tyler, you said you'll be available after what time? When I do the live stream. Kind of looks like Canada. Oh, this is so nice to have a patio area above the parking garage. You know what I should have done? I should have actually taken my skateboard with me, gone to the skate park. I'm gonna have to do that one morning early on like a Saturday once my daughter starts her music class, because that's her and her mother's time. Okay, this building is going up very quick over here, so that's what's happening in a lot of parts of New York City. This piece of land was standing open where this building is coming up. It was standing open for quite a while, and they sold it, and as soon as they sold it, the building went up because there's a severe critical housing shortage over here. The Victorian houses looks like upstate. You know what, Tyler? Some of that houses that are passed on Bainbridge, that also looks like really nice. Like I've seen houses like that in Albany.
I think I was only there when it was
They are celebrating over there. I don't know what they were celebrating, but it's nice. Okay, so this is one of the churches, one of the many. That's a Catholic church. I can't get to the name of that church now. But we have quite a lot of houses of worship. Not only in this neighborhood, but in the city itself. some of these kids were coming from the playground. The playground is only closing now.
His head off, and everybody like lost his head.
I can add stickers after 20 minutes. The park, the playground is still open. I see they turned the sprinklers off now. When it was the heat wave, they had the sprinklers running throughout the night. So we're on the D-line ends over there. So I'm going to end my live right now. Thank you for joining me, Tyler. Everybody else. I hope I'm going to be able to download this on now. So I will catch you again later. So we end off in the Bronx. So catch you guys later. Thanks for joining. It's in this live.